fermented food. I met Dan a few years ago and I learned about fermentation and fermented food. He's very happy with the business he started because he's helping people.
Welcome to Ferment Central. My name is Daniel Tomlin. I'm a fermenter, and we sell sauerkraut and kimchi. We are the closest farm to the farmer's market, and we grow all our fermentables. We teach classes that teach people how to do traditional fermentation that has been around since we crawled out of caves. 200 years ago, a fellow learned to make his beer last longer by cooking it. His name was Louis Pasteur. He was sainted because that got transferred to food. Now we no longer have very live food, and our guts are all suffering. Soil-based microorganisms from sauerkraut can fix a lot of things. Kombucha has hit the markets by storm. It's a live drink. Before 200 years ago, everybody had crocks, everybody had fermented foods as a major component of their diet. 2 mouthfuls of good sauerkraut is the equivalent of a bottle and a half of high-end probiotics. Now we have easy jars, we have pasteurization processes, we have antifungals and anti-herbicides and all kinds of things that are in our foods, and our bodies are under assault all the time. Probiotics have only about 10 different types of microbes, and they're dried, whereas this can have 680 different kinds of bacteria. So really, things get dummied down as soon as they get packaged. Sander Katz, the revivalist of fermentation and wild fermentation, he signed his book, and he signed the world's biggest pickle. We grew the longest cucumber last year, and we built a 4-foot pickle jar for him, and we naturally fermented him. We have a website called it'sallaboutthegut.com. It's a great link library that tells a lot about fermentation and all kinds of stomach issues. And when you get your microbiome working like a high efficient engine, you can still continue eating all of the bad foods if you have to, but what you're doing is you're putting the good bugs into your gut, the good yeasts, the good bacteria. If you take antibiotics sometimes, you have to get your gut back into shape. It's critical. There's all kinds of do-it-yourself live cultures you can get. Mesophilic yogurts where you don't heat up the milk, you just leave it on the counter for 3 days and it turns into yogurt. There's milk kefir. Milk kefir is like a floor polish. Okay, it coats the gut and it acts like an armor. It really helps build up the walls in the stomach lining again. It's very, very good. The yogurt, as I was saying, is like a broom. The bad bacteria and the bad yeast get swept out because yogurt is very transient. So things that grow in the milk are very good for us. These bacteria and yeasts, the lactose is generally all eaten, so it's not even milk anymore. But what it is, it's medicine for our gut. It's things that will make our guts work more effectively. When you take soil-based microorganisms and mix them in with cabbage, you end up creating 680 different types of bacteria and yeast in a sauerkraut. Ours, I'm sure, are pushing over 1,000 because we put all kinds of things. We have basic sauerkraut, where just strictly white cabbage and Himalayan salt. We make a really good kimchi, which is a fermented magic. It's a marriage of garlic and ginger and hot peppers and onions, and let's throw in a little fish sauce just to add to the brew. We also have a rocket science one where we have turmeric and cracked pepper. The cracked pepper makes the turmeric 2,000 times more bioavailable. One of the magics that's in all vegetables is every living organism has enzymes on it that will eat it. And what happens is you add salt, because a lot of harmful bacteria and microbes don't like salt, and you submerge it. So there's different ways of doing that. And a very simple thing is a airlock system where you just have a wine airlock with a plastic lid, and that allows the ferment to breathe out, because the first phase of microbial activity, the enzymes on those vegetables create lactic acid bacteria. And these lactic acid bacteria don't like the oxygen either. And bad bacteria live in oxygen. So you've created a salty environment with no air. then the natural microbes on plants will create preservation. It's like a magical thing, and it's just with two simple things. So there's various types of airlock systems you can use. We also have kits for milk kefir and for water kefir and kombucha and stuff like that. And we have to start taking back our gut and taking back our health. So come on down to our booth and learn how to do it yourself probiotics and get your gut back into health.
After interviewing him, I went and took all of his classes and I learned how to make my own fermented food. This is not a health advice. I'm not a health advisor. I hope that you enjoyed the video and take the information at your own risk. Do something that you love because life is too short.